What's up, YouTube? It's JackalGoldKick, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a rant on Hiroshimaru, aka Daniel Rolfe. So this is a paid request from a Super Thanks from a YouTube user, Lockenbarra, who has a cat profile picture of the top hat. So shout out to this user if I'm saying his name right. He left a $5 Super Thanks on my Daniac interview, asking me to do a rant on Hiroshimaru, aka Daniel Rolfe. Watch all the exposed stuff about him. So we're going to do this. So much appreciated, Lockenbarra. Thanks to him for sending in a paid request. Much appreciated. You know, it's always appreciated when somebody sends in money. If anybody else wants to do that through Super Thanks or Cash App or Patreon or anything like that, let me know. Paid requests for any type of video, basically, let me know. But let's get to this request. So in preparation for this, I watched mostly everything about this guy on YouTube and put together a list of stuff I could talk about in this rant. So let's get on with it. So before I get into these notes, I wanted to say that from what I remember, I think I saw something on Twitter that he said that I didn't really care for, which I'll get to. But the last interaction I had with him wasn't really pleasant. I think this was on a Fortune for Shooters video, or the Awesome Speakers channel, where he had said something like he was trying to tell me what to do with my life, and I told him off because it's like, I didn't ask you, motherfucker, you know, so I didn't care for that. And then he had said something about my profile picture, like, oh, you got a furry profile picture or something like that. It's like, no, motherfucker, I'm not a furry. It's a picture of a jackal wearing a chain and a baseball cap and a hat. You know, it's kind of like what I would dress like, but like with a jackal. It was supposed to be me, but a jackal animal to, you know, the JackalGoldKick name. That's what it was meant for, but I'm not really a furry. And plus, Hiroshimaru's want to talk because he has profile pictures of anime chicks. So yeah. But let's get into all this stuff I wrote down for this Daniel Rolfe, aka Hiroshimaru, rant. First thing is I found out is he encouraged a depressed person to kill themselves. He was saying something like, I hope you kill yourself and hope you choke on some ibuprofen pills or overdose on them or something like that. But I think it was him saying, I hope you choke on some ibuprofen pills. So that's something that I heard him say, and it's pretty fucked up. You know, he's definitely a piece of shit for saying that because, you know, depression sucks. People that are depressed, you know, it's not a good thing. And people kill themselves and take their own life, you know. And for him to do that and say that to somebody is just fucking wrong. So, yeah, I didn't. I thought that was messed up that he said that. You know, so that's something he did that was wrong. Another thing he did is I can't remember what the specifics were for this, but he got mad at TG Venom over something anime related. TG Venom had some kind of opinion on anime, and Hiroshimaru got mad about it. I remember that happening on Twitter. So that's another thing that happened. You know, we can't respect opinions. You know, it's like I like anime too, but it's like getting mad at TG Venom because of what he thinks of anime or something. I can't remember what TG Venom said, but it's fucking stupid that Hiroshimaru got mad at him over that. You know, can't respect opinions, getting that mad over it, fucking stupid. So that's another thing. Another thing is he always involves himself with drama and things that have nothing to do with him. That's something I found out. And that's pretty stupid that he does that. Pretty fucking dumb. Involving himself with drama and things that have nothing to do with him. Fucking dumb. Another thing is he'll tell others what to do with their life and he'll cast judgment when he's flawed himself. Yeah, he'll tell other people what to do with their life. Cast judgment when he's flawed himself. You know, he's a guy that lives with his mom even though he has a job. And, you know, he's fat and out of shape. Clearly should lose some weight. And lives on the internet, but yet he wants to tell everyone else what to do with their life. Like he told me what to do with my life, even though I didn't fucking ask him. So that's something else about him that sucks. Another thing is he's obsessed with wrestling otaku, which is stupid to be obsessed with a YouTuber. Now, I don't know a whole lot about wrestling otaku. I've heard in comments from certain people that apparently he's egotistical, and I've heard some stuff about him through TG Venom. I don't know if I would care for him myself as a person and a YouTuber based on what I've heard, but I do know that Daniel Rolfe, aka Hiroshimaru, is obsessed with is obsessed with wrestling otaku, which is pretty stupid. So that's another thing. Another thing is he lives on the internet. You know, even though he has a job, he lives on the internet. This is basically his life. This is what he does. He just lives on the internet, which is pretty fucking pathetic. That's all you have, and that's all there is to your existence, is just this, which is lame. Another thing is he talks behind people's backs. You know, even people he's cool with, he'll talk behind their back, which is pretty fucked up to do. You shouldn't do that shit. You know, it destroys trust and burns bridges. Another thing is he stabs people in their back. That's another thing I heard about him. He'll stab people in their back, which is also fucked up. I'm sure he probably does it to people he's cool with as well. So that's another reason why he sucks. Another bad thing. That's fucked up. Another thing is, and this is what I saw on Twitter now that I remember, and I didn't care for it. He defends Lolicon and says it's just fiction. Like he said something on Twitter. I remember like, oh, I don't care for child porn, but Lolly is different because it's fictional drawn. It's like bullshit. They're both bad. They're both the same fucking thing. You can't say that one is bad but you're okay with the other because it's fictional. No, both are bad. Both are the same thing, and it should not exist. It's sickening, and it shows he's sick and a pedophile himself and into that, or he has an extreme porn addiction and got to the point of that genre, because that's another possibility here is this guy could have a porn addiction, which wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I have one myself, but at least I'm still attempting to get rid of it despite recent relapses, unfortunately. But yeah, he defends Lolicon and says it's just fiction, which, fuck out of here. That shit is wrong and it's sick. Fuck you for defending that shit, because it shouldn't fucking exist whatsoever. I just don't see how there's a difference between the two. You got to be kidding me. I remember seeing that on Twitter, and that's when I really started not to care for this guy at all, honestly. Another thing is he runs to his mom a lot for his issues. When he gets into a lot of crap or is dealing with problems, he'll run to his mom for help, which is pretty pathetic, especially since he's like, 26? He's in his 20s, a grown man, and he runs to his mom to deal with his own issues. That's pathetic. You're fucking weak. When I started on YouTube at the age of 13 and becoming 14, 15, when I got involved in a lot of beef or when I was dealing with, certain stuff I got involved in with troll rap, I dealt with all that shit on my own. I didn't run to somebody in real life for help. And that's when I was a damn teenager, a kid. And you're fucking 26 having to run to your mom to help with your issues online. Are you fucking serious? You're pathetic. And by the way, a lot of the stuff that I found out, like there was various videos I watched about this guy, but the main one that had the most videos about him that I'm finding a lot of the stuff that I found a lot of this stuff out about that I'm listing is Dragon Patriot Remix. He did a ton of videos on this guy, and he was saying all this stuff about him. So shout out to Dragon Patriot Remix for those videos. He's got a pretty entertaining personality. Definitely check out his channel. That's how I found out a lot of this stuff. Another thing is another thing I found out about him is he talked to some 15-year-old girl. And I believe it wasn't like a normal interaction. It was like the creepy romance or sex type interaction, which is just nasty. Shows he's a pedophile, honestly. And it's like he tried to use the excuse that Dragon Patriot was talking about, where it's like the girl talked to him first. And it's like, it don't matter if the girl talked to you first. You should know as a, grown adult that it's not right for you to be talking to a girl at that age. It's like, what the fuck? So that's something he did. Which is just wrong. Definitely wrong that he did that, and shows he's a pedophile and shows he's sick for doing that. So that's something else that he did. And apparently that girl's dad had to get involved, and apparently Hiroshimaru's parents had to get involved. Like, what the fuck? So this guy's sick for that shit. Another thing is he runs to people and others for help. Kind of goes back into what I said, but yeah, another thing he does, he'll run to people in general and run to others for help when he's going through something, which is pretty pathetic. Shows he can't fight his own battles. Shows he cannot stand on his own. And being 26, that's pretty pathetic. Another thing is I believe this could possibly come from a porn addiction, but it's just a theory that he has a porn addiction. But I guess I could say maybe he possibly has one. He sexualizes women. Sexualizes women, especially with the cosplay thing. I heard where he, sexualizes them, even if it's just women in cosplay, but not really doing something like that, which I believe he has a porn addiction, because someone with a porn addiction would do something like that, being obsessed with lust and sex and all that. I know this. Now, I'm not saying I do the things he does, but I know this from having that addiction, that this is what it does to you. So my theory is that he has a porn addiction, and this is what makes him sexualize women. So that's pretty bad that he does that, because it's just not right to do. Another thing he does is he'll call out others' flaws, but not his own, or work on them. Yeah, he'll call out everyone else's flaws, but he won't work on his own or address his own. So that's another thing he does. Pretty pathetic. Another thing he does, he brags about having a job and working a ton. That's something else I heard, is that he brags about having a job and I work all these hours. It's like, are you supposed to impress people with that? Most people have to have one to afford expenses, to get by in life. It's kind of like having a car, or, being a, like, it's a standard thing that you got to have. Have a car, and, that kind of thing. So, don't know why he brags about having a job. Pretty stupid. Even Dragon Phoenix, or Dragon, not Phoenix, Dragon Patriot Remix said that about, this guy, that it was pathetic for him. And it's like, this guy brags about having a job, yet he doesn't have his own place, lives with his mom. It's like, if you have a job, you should be able to afford your own place, right? I don't get that. Another thing is, he's one-sided with politics. Like Dragon Patriot had mentioned, this guy will like call out the left and call out SJWs, and he says he's like a right-wing conservative, and it's like, that's not really the right way to be with politics, because both sides are corrupt when it comes to politics. Can't really trust either political party. You should be against all politics. It's all bad, Shout out to Official T Murdoch. He has a YouTube channel called Real Woke Movement. The real way is being against all that. That's what being real woke and all that stuff means, being against all the politics shit, because all of it's corrupt and all of it's filled with bullshit. But Daniel Rolfe is on the one side or right side of politics, and basically one-sided with politics. So that's something else about him. Another thing is, he said suicide is cute or something like that. I briefly heard that from Dragon Patriot Remix. That's another thing, is he said suicide was cute. And that's pretty fucked up that he would say that. It shows he's just a piece of shit for that. It's like, that's a pretty bad thing that exists in this world, and unfortunately some people do. And for you to say it's cute, it's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Another thing is, he sticks his tongue out at cosplay women. This is something else he does, where he'll stick his tongue out at cosplay women. It's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? You're sick. That's nasty. You think those cosplay women are gonna be into that, or like that's being done? I mean, I feel like the only person who could get away with that is like Gene Simmons as Kiss on concert, because, well, it's Kiss, and I'm sure women are already into Kiss. Maybe he can get away with that, but not you. I mean, that's probably not the same thing. Maybe that's a bad example, but it's like, it's just fucking creepy he does that. That's another reason I think he has a porn addiction, because I feel like that kind of addiction could lead you to do stuff like that. That's for sure. So that's pretty wrong that he does that, especially, to women like that. Just shows he's a nasty person. It doesn't have a good personality. Another thing is, he plays the victim a lot. That's something else I've heard about this guy. He'll play the victim a lot of times, which is really pathetic. Another thing is, he's bullied someone before, made fun of the way they talk. So yeah, this is something else he apparently did, where he bullied somebody for the way they talk and made fun of it, which is just pathetic. It's like, if somebody talks a certain way or sounds a certain way, they can't help it. That's how they were born. We don't get a choice to change our voice, or to, decide, unless you're a YouTuber or internet personality, you can do a voice changer. Your real voice is your real voice. So to make fun of someone for that is pathetic. And it's not like you have an awesome voice yourself, Daniel Rolfe. Come the fuck on. So it's fucked up that he did that. Another thing is, he looks down on those with no job. Judgmental. He looks down on people who don't have a job, which is just stupid in my opinion. It's like, well, what about people that freelance? What about people that are their own boss? What about people that are like a rapper or something? Like, maybe there's, different explanations and positions or reasons for why people don't have a job. I know someone who is pretty successful on their own and found their own way of making money, and they don't believe in the 9-to-5 job thing. They're against that. Or even though I'm not a fan of this rapper, even Stitches, he was like, fuck a job. That's something he said a lot. Granted, he has the rap thing, but to look down on people who have no job is just fucking stupid, especially compared to him and what he's about. I mean, it's like, okay, you have a job, so what? You don't even have your own fucking place. That's another thing about this guy. Another thing is, he made fun of someone who did a suicide attempt, so fuck him for that. The fact that he would make fun of somebody who did a suicide attempt, it just isn't cool that he would do that, because suicide is a serious thing. And the fact that he would make fun of somebody who did a suicide attempt makes him a real piece of shit. Another thing is, he claims some people fake their mental illness. There was somebody apparently he was interacting with or talking to, and he said they faked their mental illness and they'd proof it. It's like, what? Are you kidding me? like you're really gonna assume that certain people fake their mental illness and ain't proof for it? Like, what kind of bullshit is that? So that's fucking stupid, and that's bullshit. He would say something like that. You gotta be fucking kidding me. That's another stupid thing about this guy. Another thing is, he wishes people would choke and die on pills and die from their mental illness. Apparently, that's something else he said. He wishes it was somebody, certain people would, die. He wished they would choke and die on pills and die from the mental illness, which is also fucked up. Now, again, I don't know the specifics of every single thing I'm talking about because these are just based off various videos I watched on him, and there has been proof for some of this stuff, like the lolicon thing and that cosplay thing I saw briefly in the video. But there were certain videos I couldn't watch because of my addiction because there was just triggering stuff in it. But I did see most of the videos on YouTube. But I haven't had a huge interaction with him. You know, it's funny because the lolicon thing, right? You know what's crazy about this is I remember back in the day I had heard this guy was a pedophile and I assumed it. And we had gotten a little feud. And at first, I thought I was just assuming the wrong thing, and he wasn't one. I apologized to him. We were kind of cool back then, but it seems I was right from back then when that whole thing happened. But I haven't talked to him like that or really have had history with him, so I can't really talk about my experiences with him that much. But it's fucked up that he would wish people to die, wish people to choke and die on pills and their mental illness. That's fucked up as well. Another thing is, he's a creep, nasty towards women, gets mad that they don't like it. Apparently, when you do this, first of all, sticking his tongue out, cosplay women, that's creepy and nasty. But secondly, he would hit some of these women up, be creepy and nasty, say things like that, and they'd have an issue with it, obviously, because you're a creep, and he would get mad about it. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, what? You're going to get mad at them for not liking someone who's, a creep and being nasty? Fuck out of here. Since when is that stuff even cool, It's wrong in general, Like, there was a fucking gay dude. My apologies for that brief cutoff. As I was recording, I ran out of storage on this MacBook Pro, so I had to make some room. But back to what I was saying, there was this gay guy named James Branch that would online, push himself on me more than once, just being nasty and creepy. And it made me feel very uncomfortable. I mean, first of all, because I'm not into dudes, but secondly, just because it wasn't right. So I kind of, know what that's like firsthand. I mean, I'm sure women deal with it more than guys, but, I dealt with that. So, yeah, it's pretty stupid that he gets mad towards women that don't like him. It's like, oh, you don't like me being a creep? Like, what? Like, motherfucker, it's not right for you to be that way. So fuck him for that as well. Another thing is, he'll talk shit about wrestling otaku, but yet praise him. I've heard this as well, where he will talk shit about wrestling otaku, but then praise him. And it's just like, make up your mind. Either you like the guy or you don't like the guy. Makes no fucking sense. Another thing is, so Dragon Patriot Remix, what led him to doing a bunch of videos on Hiroshimaru is they had an issue. And basically what had happened is, Dragon Patriot Remix, he gave his opinion at AEW or something like that. And Hiroshimaru got mad at it and had an issue with it. And, they had talked it out and everything was cool. But then apparently Hiroshimaru said something about him afterwards, despite their talking it out. So, yeah, the fact that he got mad at his opinion about AEW is stupid. It just shows that this guy can't respect opinions. Also, he talks about how those getting paid on YouTube is dumb and how it's not a real job. It's just like, I'm sure if he was monetized on YouTube and can make money, he would do it. That's the reality. Is some of these people that want to look down on it or say it's not a real job, they were monetized themselves or it could get paid on YouTube. They do it, Don't try to fucking tell them. Don't try to lie. They do it. They'd fucking do it, Nothing wrong with it, in my opinion. Want to get paid off your YouTube videos. Nothing fucking wrong with it. But those are the things I wrote down. Some other things I could say about Hiroshimaru. He's fucking fat and he's losing some fucking weight. He's a creep, being in a lolicon, sticking his tongue out towards cosplay women, all this stuff I mentioned. He just seems like a real piece of shit person and not somebody that I want to associate with, Need to stop living on the internet, get your own job. Get your own place, not job, since you have your own job, and lose that fucking weight. I mean, I know I'm not super skinny myself, but at least I'm not as fat as you are, and at least I'm, I made attempts to lose some weight and not just sit around and do nothing about it, So yeah, fuck Daniel Rolfe, aka Hiroshimaru. He's lame. He's a piece of shit, low down scumbag. He kind of reminds me of one of those like freak show YouTubers, kind of like Chris Chan or EDP445, people like that. That's what this guy reminds me of. He's like an underground version of Chris Chan or something, Just pathetic. So yeah, fuck this guy. He's a piece of shit, and he's not someone I'd ever be cool with. He sucks for all the things I went through and all the reasons I stated. So yeah, that's really it for this rant video on this guy. Hopefully the guy who sent in a paid request for this lock and barrel, hopefully he likes this video and what I did for him. Hopefully it was good. Did the best I could, but that's it for this video. Peace out.